All right. Let's get going. There's no real rush. I'm going to use... Wait, what? Okay, but that's not... Just bear with me. Okay, aim 9 on stations 9 and 1, GBU 12 on 3 and 2 with the respected, let's just double check we've got that 1582 and we'll use that one, we'll copy that one over to the same payload, so that should be 1582 on this one here. And we've got the flare on station 4, fuel tank on station 5, and a aim 120 Charlie on station 6. Let's make sure. Get rid of the modex there and put my skin on. Got a load of shit in here which I don't need. There we go. And I hate all that stuff. There we go. So 90, 30, save. We're good. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I'm not going to follow the NATOPS exactly today, but we're going to do something very similar. So battery override 23.5 volts. Battery on. Fire test A.
Engine fire left. Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Rearming complete. Air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
Okay, and that goes into norm, and then what we're going to do is cycle the battery again, or wait 7 seconds, depending on what you want to do.
Engine fire left.
Okay, everything's illuminated.
Engine fire right.
Warning light.
Engine fire right.
FCES. Battery SW is good.
APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
Alright, beautiful. APU is on. I'm just going to take a quick look outside because I want to make sure that I've got the right stuff on. Okay, that looks correct to me. Alright, let's get going. APU is green. We're good to crank the right engine. Clear right engine. And right engine comes up 15% RPM. We're going to go from idle cutoff to idle. Okay, and that's all the way back. And that's coming on. Coming online. Alright. I don't think DCS is... Right. If DCS is too loud, let me know, but it should be fine. Okay. So, a little behind the curve here, but we'll get there.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
And PCD and DDIs are on. And that's good. Com1, Com2 online. And we're going Com1 right, should be 1. Oh no, my USC's not working. Oh no. Okay, 108. We'll have to work with that. So it's going to be button 12 on that one. Okay. Bleed air cycle. Sort that out. There we go. Flow of things. And crank left engine. Reset. May as well, while we're here, sort the seating out. There we go. And left engine cranking.
Flight controls.
Okay. Left engine is online. The oxygen on, lights are off. Harness is locked. That's good. Right. Anti-skid is off, of course. Flaps are full. Flaps go to normal. FCS reset. Let's do a bit test of our stuff. And the HUD goes on.
On the flight deck, aircrew are manning for the next event go. It's going to be a case 1 launch, case 1 recovery. Temperatures 82 degrees, altimeter 2902.
Okay, that's good. All right, let's.
Those remaining must get into a complete and proper flight deck uniform. Helmets on, security fasten, goggles down.
Yes, 12 star.
Check yourselves for loose gear and fog. Check chocks, chains, and loose gear about the decks. Ensure hot exhaust is not blown on aircraft weapons
Fuck,
personnel.
okay.
Stand clear of intakes, exhaust prop, and rotor arms. Let's start the go aircraft.
11 minute IS is on the go. ADS. Let's check stores. We're waiting for ILS. We'll do all this. UPUs, we're on program 1, so it's cool. Code. The code in. Our code is 1582. Okay, check code. Good. Right, so we step 1582 for that one as well. Perfect. Right, it's already there anyway. Just wanted to make sure. And then we go to blur pod. I'll wait for that to be online. Okay, so right now IFA. Oops, hang on, I need to get another program open here. Oh no, how do I get rid of that shit? Fuck. Oh, there we go. Okay. And hopefully I don't do this at the wrong time when it makes the calls. mouse. Rock 14. Okay, let's just check the parameters. Okay, we need that to get it operational. Right, rock 14, let's do that now. Waypoint 14 is also going to be the... Hang on. To where? Now we have the information here, so we can get to work on the things we need to get to work on. So turn that off for now. Turn that on to F. That's good. So, right, number 8. Okay, 15, 12. So let's go to aircraft, UFC, position, north. Oops. Fifteen, 12. Easting 14415. 14415. There we go. So that's good. Now, that's 8. Done 14. With 14, we're going to change the waypoint slightly. That waypoint will be coming up. The precise waypoint for that one. It's correct. It's on waypoint 14 position. So we're going to do northing. And we're going to do 16, 01, enter, 04, 04, and we will enter that one. So 16, 01, 04, 04, easting, 146, 03, 31, 96. Okay. 146, 03, 3196. Alright. Elevation in feet for this one would be 237. Okay. That's all set, and that's 14. So let me just have a look at number 8. We'll take off precise. Make sure on sequence 2, UFC, position northing. Oh, we done northing already, haven't we? 15, 12, yeah, we've done this one. Yep, and then 44, 15, yeah, so that's good. So I guess it's going to be in the 50s now, so let's go down to 50. Okay, position, northing. IP 153941. Oh, he's gone. Cool. $1539.41. Easting 1450237. Easting 1450-237, northing 1512, no wait, 1539-41, 1539-41. Cool, perfect. So that's 50 done. 51. Decision point would be northing 1601-47. 1601-47. Easting would be 145-47. 63. Easting 145-47, 63. Good. And 52. 52. UFC position northing. 1546-21. 1546-21, correct. Easting 1460-377. Okay, fantastic. Alright, brilliant. Okay, and I think that is it. Just need to do the sequencing. Okay, so sequencing. Insert. 8, enter, insert, 50, enter, insert, 51, enter, insert, 14, enter, insert, 52, enter, insert, 8. Okay, 8's already there, so we go back to that one anyway. Okay, so altimeter 29902. Okay, and I'm going to do 40 feet above the deck just in case. And we're going to do all stores. Okay, if something happens. Right, O-box is on, harness is on, locked, everything's good on that part. Go back to HSI and go to sequencing, and we will go down to number 8. But we don't want to be doing that just yet. So we actually want to go to IFF on, TACAN on 53, no wait, 73. Of course, I have to do everything on this one now. Okay, point 1, good. ILS data link is on. Should have put that on earlier, but I forgot to do that. Voice Bravo is what we want. And that would be 108. Okay. And right, set 65 for Joker. Okay, we go to that. We go to FCS. Let's change that one in a minute. Seat is armed. Everything else looks reasonable. I think we can continue the mission. WS on high. Oh, yep.
Crusader, standby check-in on Hawks.
There we go.
Crusader 4-1.
Crusader 4-2.
It's an automatic fail because you tried to move with your chocks on.
Shit.
Alright, let's get our head back in the game. Crusader, standard departure, case 1, 29er 2. Current BRC is 128. Crusader, stand by, alpha check, rock. Alpha check, rock 248, 162.
Correct. Silent is consent. Brake check is good.
Crusader 41's green jet ready to go.
Crusader 42, green jet, ready to go.
Roger.
Okay, wings of unfolded. Stab is 12. Change that to 17, and launch bar goes down. He's happy. Hello, mate. Off wheel brakes, giving us the okay to taxi forward. Okay, and launch bar goes up. Ready. Okay. Okay, gear up. Okay, flaps up. Slightly high. To stand. 7 miles. So what I'm going to do is that on. Let's get this on. Set. Done. It's good. Dispensers on. Change. VW standby test mode. Go. Take these off. Don't need that. Okay, and let's step him. Stepped, he's climbing. We're at 6 miles. VW page is standby mode, manual 1, armed. Okay, 111, that's good. Ooh, 10, why? Save that. Okay, here we go. Let's get up there. Okay, 0.7, and he is at 12,000. And we got to do a self items check. 29 shaft, 89 flat. Good. Items. Step to program 2. Step to program 2. 10. Perfect. Okay, EW. Right. Header mode is on. Don't need that right now, so take that off. Let's catch up. Okay, heading to waypoint. So sequence this, not sequence 3, but sequence 2. So buck sequence. Waypoint. Right. 30 miles for the waypoint here.
And Crusaders will do a CV rendezvous at waypoint 8. You can anticipate waypoint 8 being the post at Angels 2-5. Correction 2-8.
CV rendezvous at 28, waypoint 8. Don't need all this. Let's check the fuel. Okay.
We are green on the bow and on the waist for the on-time goes. Then clear all catapults, catwalks, and shot lines while launching aircraft. Shoot 'em!
He's already at 20,000, so we are at 12. Not too far behind, maybe we'll increase this. 10 pitch. Hopefully everything's okay, and you can hear the game. I'm going to raise the game a little bit.
Flight set .7 Mach for the rejoin.
0.7, Wilco. Okay, so waypoint 8, and then we're going to do waypoint 50 will be the next one. Left that, use geometry now to gain on him. Let's do this. Boink, boink, down to 5. That's who we want. Step U. Oh, hang on. We go step U at 0.7, right? Let's look out for him. ATC locked, 0.7. Gonna hold altitude. Oh, hang on. Okay, holding the altitude here. Okay, now I'm switching to guns on this one. Mastral is safe, that's fine. I see him. Okay, 80. Okay, 70. 1.5. Let's get the geometry on this guy here. 1.4. Just outside the HUD, so 1.3. 1.2. Gonna fly to where he's going to be, so slightly tighter turn here. Okay, there's 1 mile. .9, 0.7, coming off ATC. Oh no, actually, we've done that in the first place. We weren't even on it. That's interesting. 0.6. 0.4. 6.4, so we're a little bit fast here, but that's okay. I want to be like at least 10 knots faster than he's going to be. 0.3, the same speed. Okay, there we go. 0.2 and 20. Closure, there we go. We're matching the closure now, so kind of want to be a little bit more above than this, but that's okay. Back and off, air to air. Visual rejoin from now on.
Crusaders go fighting wing. And just a reminder, 45 degree, 30 to 45 degree, at 0.2, out to about 0.7 is the neighborhood.
Copy. So is that going to be 108, 108 X-ray?
And we'll use this formation for the fencing.
Okay, yardstick is Sfwt 0.3. Good. Okay.
Rolling out.
To you right now, which is alright. Still 0.2, which is good. Okay, now I need to think about the next steps.
Crusaders fencing.
Going fence in. Okay, yardstick is on. That's good. Stores page are good. Okay. That's good there. Why is that not right? 680 and 40. Data 16. Boom. Sets. Happy days. Okay, a little out now. 0.6 out, so let's close the gap.
Sorry about that, got a little deep in the turn.
Lights are off anyway, so that's good. Alright, now I just need to understand what I'm doing. Here we go. Let's have a look. Let's get this up on here, shall we? Let's go with this one. So we are side trail high, 25 low. Okay. Fuck me.
Crusader 4-1, fenced in 11.8.
Crusader 4-2 fenced in 12.1. Apologies for that.
Yeah, I didn't see it until the last second. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, head was down for more than 3 seconds, mate. My bad.
Alright, to Crusaders, we're going to push waypoint 8. So we're going to start just an aggressive in place towards waypoint 8. So Crusaders in place, left, go. Crusaders reference heading 080.
Okay. I'm just going to switch. Get back out here. That's what I should have done.
Crusaders excel 0.8 Mach. And 4-2, I realize you're sucked on me now, so I'm just going to maintain my speed. We'll deploy here in a few moments. Just come back up and we'll fix the formation. But go ahead and excel to point 8.
Yep.
Crusaders push button 5 on Brad. Crusader 4-1.
Crusader 4-2.
Tiger Tail, Crusader Flight 2 Hornets checking in for the FMTC exercise. Crusader 4-2, welcome to your Swift 2.5X.
Oh, shit.
The weather today is clear, altimeter 2992. We'll use all blocks at all altitude. Crusaders push. Crusaders reference heading. Reference heading 060 deploy.
Yep. Alright, fix it. That was my mistake. So 062, so I've got to deploy now, so I have to dig deep on this one. I've got to dig deep. I've got to go down to gain.
And Crusader 4-1's blind.
Crusader 4-2 is blind also. I am to your right, 5 o'clock. Looks like 2 miles. I'll be getting in position soon.
Yeah, visual. Crusader 4-2, reference heading is 090, go.
2. Watch the fuel here. Zero. Get back on altitude as well, because we're slightly low on altitude.
Crusader's reference heading is 060 for the deploy. Crusader 4-1, resuming 060.
Crusader 4-2 resuming the 060.
Yeah, no need to say anything, just focus on the deploy to beam at 5 miles.
Okay. Well, we are 4.5, that's not good enough, so let's carry on. Then we've got to climb back up to 28,500 feet. Although we are quite... I could use this to my advantage, actually. 060, there's... That's better. It's going to hold that.
Looking good. You're just a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah, I know. 0.8 and 0.76 anyway. Climb a bit more. Need to...
Okay, gonna start the next phase, gonna deploy some aircraft into the picture.
Okay. It's 4.4. It's going to reference 065 for a minute. Hang on. 065 at autopilot. Heading selects. Let's come down. Can't see, it's blurry. So 4.6. Okay, so still got a little bit to go. He's over there somewhere. Not quite what we wanted. That's okay. Let's keep an eye on it. 4.8. And then reference 060. There we go, 4.9. Let's turn back in. There we go. Let's change that heading now. 060, enter. Oops. Heading, altitude bug, there we go. 4.9, that's good. Sensor is fine. Come off that one. Should say. So what we're going to do now is that's on, and Atwa, and UFC code, laser code, just so I know what we're doing. 1582. Okay, that's good. Right, off. Auto boxed. Gale 50. There we go. Picking them up. Are we still? We're still 4.9, referencing 060. Lead is 28,000. 28,000, good. Okay. Can't see him. There you go.
Crusader, picture. Crusader, picture, 2 group. Group Rock 25070. 25 24,000 track east.
CVW-17.
Correction, track south. Hostile. Group Rock 25068. 30,000 track northwest. Hostile. Crusaders continue. Crusaders, reference heading 065.
Fucking hell, I realise I keep going forward. I don't set the mark 0.8 mark, so I'm gonna go 0.75, wait for the rejoin, and then push up again. Wait for that line abreast there, kind of acute at this time. So 0.75, there we go. I'm just gonna hold that ATC. I'm gonna wait. Gonna hold that. See one singular, no, two contacts at 75 miles. Okay, and today we are referencing this side, the left side, SAR 1. So Melbourne sort at 32. Oh no.
Mind the clicking, I just have to use it to open up the F10, that menu for spawning stuff.
Didn't hear it, mate.
Good.
There we go. Push forward now to 0.8. Increase the power a little bit more there. So we gradually get there. So we're getting a nice line abreast there. We're not exactly equal on the decision point waypoint right now. I'm kind of a little bit weighted to the right of that, so 30 miles. Contacts no factor. They are hostile. We're okay, there we go, so we should be fine. So let's push that up now to 0.8. Okay, I'm just going to go to the afterburner just for a few seconds. There we go, ATC is on and fuel state is 10.0. Okay, we have a few contacts here. So we know that more information will come up on there in a second. Let's make sure I've got everything good. Everything's on. We are line abreast almost, which is really good, so we're in a better position than we were before. A few things I want to go over in the debrief about the positioning for myself. I chased the wrong target, I visually saw it, didn't check the waypoint. I was too fixated on this aircraft, which turned out to be a tanker, which was not the target. Not the target. Sorry, not lead. That was a bit weird. It should be good. 480 ground speed.
Crusader 4-2 will update on the game plan. This air group is just outside of our target area, and they're not paying attention to it. So if I call attack, we will just go into attack mode as if we're going to drop. If we have to abort, we'll abort before the drop. However, otherwise we will do the regular game plan and drop the bombs, support, all the stuff we talked about. How copy?
Crusader 4-2, Wilco.
Alright, so just to summarize, we will continue our attack, and if we have to, we will commit to that group near the cap, or capping, only after our attack is complete.
Hey, fun. Right,
If for some
14.
reason they turn in on us during the attack, I'll call abort and a flow, and we will reset and reevaluate. Crusaders, check tape master arm. Crusaders, attack, attack.
Check take master arm. Okay, air to ground mode. Let's make sure everything's good. Confirm attack heading 096, or is that changing?
Stand by for the check turn.
We'll go to air again for this one. We're going to go down to about 40 for this one. Yeah?
Crusaders, check right, heading 090.
So that means 090 is... Okay. Fuck. There we go. 090. Good. Let's go and heading select. Okay, and we need
Center
action.
41 set.
Crusader 4-2 set.
Crusaders, 60 seconds, go.
That's my target. Okay. Air to ground. That's on. Flow is good. Trigger is armed. Oh shoot, I forgot about that. Data, step, UFC. Multiple of 2. It's multiple of 2, right?
Say again.
It's multiple of 2 for the weapon release. Is that correct?
Affirm.
Yep, okay, just checking. I'm turning left onto the target line right now.
Crusader 412.
Okay, here we go. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Target, why? What the fuck? Okay. Crusader 4-2. Bombs away. Oh dear, said the wrong thing there. I hope it frickin' hits my target, because I'll be pissed if it doesn't.
Crusader, Miller time. Crusaders flow, yep.
Please hit, please hit, please hit, please hit, because I cannot afford to fail this fucking mission. To progress, damn it. To progress.
Crusader 42 status, you got a group we were driving into.
Continuing to EFP. Okay, EFP, no idea. Right. Never mind. Continue with the mission. Don't worry about it. I don't know if I splashed any targets there. We'll find out.
And Crusader 4-1's pushing waypoint 8. Let me know if you get spiked there. I'm getting nails.
Not getting anything. Put that on. Make sure I'm safe, just to be sure.
Crusader's reference heading 255.
They didn't come off, or did they? I know 2 released, but obviously this is the training service. So obviously they just stick on. I really hope they fucking release. I really hope that actually got the target, because that's kind of annoying. Not too sure what I did wrong. Let's see a splash. A bit concerned by that. .6 fuel state. Let's check this.
Crusaders descend Angels 25.
Okay, we're gonna go to 0. Get down, get some speed, catch up. They're not turning hot to us, so that's fine. 20 miles. Still gonna put this desired. Okay, and
Crusaders set 350 knots.
2. Going full mill at this point. Not too sure if we did this correctly, but continue the mission. Plan was to drop 2 of the JDAMs, no, not the JDAMs, GBU-12s, and I don't know if they actually impacted the target or not. I'm a little concerned about that, but we'll find out, because normally I say splash anyway, so who knows. Right, master arm is safe, air to air is on, just in case. And we are 9 miles. Tell you what, let's switch to this one, and let's go with closest one is this one here. 0.5. It's not J. Using link 16 range. A, that's 0.9 is at 22,000, so closing up. I'd like to think I did a good job, but we'll find out, won't we? We will find out. Just taking a sip of my tea there. If you are chatting to me, I do apologise. I haven't got the screen up. Okay? The last minute thing to record, but we'll do another test another day. Oh, I do like a good bit. So the plan was Self Escort Strike. It's going to be a 2-ship package. We on the training server right now, and we're going to bomb the. I was going to bomb the southern target. Acquired that target, but I didn't get the weapons off. I don't
Crusader
think.
4-1, 8.8.
Crusader 4-2, 7.8. Either they did come off, or I don't know. I think I felt that the thump there, but I'm not too sure if they actually hit the target or not. I know I've said it a couple of times now, but it's kind of annoying. Really is annoying, considering I've practiced this mission. Not this mission per se, but I've practiced.
Crusaders, reference heading 255, 350 knots, Angels 25. Resume sensor spread.
So I'm going to put the heading on. And 255, enter. Let's just check that. 255, enter. That's good. Right, autopilot. And we go with the heading select and the altitude. That's fine. It's 430 right now. Come back out of this, and we should be good actually, because we want to slow down to 8.
Update heading 250.
250. Okay. We 50. And we want to. Okay, 250. We are slightly sucked in this one. We are 7 miles. So I do want to make a left heading of 240, 10 degrees. 240. We go. I'm going to hold that one until we decrease the distance between us back down to 5 miles. Switch back to the SA page here. Again, slightly sucked, but that's okay.
And Crusaders, go ahead and lose those bombs for the return.
Okay. Nostron on. Come out of air to air. Stores. Jettison. Nostron safe. Fuel. Okay. And we are looking at 5.5, and we want to go back to. It's not on there, is it? 250. So let's. Set. Done. Of course, I've got to step up altitude of shit. Retrim the aircraft here. Okay. And autopilot heading selects and ATTH. Start climbing. 26,000, so about 5,000 feet to climb. Okay. And I'm going to get the. Oh no, where is it? Okay. 22,200. It slightly sucked, but we seem to be 5.4, which is not too bad. Are we increasing? Yeah, we are increasing. Okay. Is my heading on? No, it's not. 26,000. We are 23,000. Let's try and close the gap just a smidge. .6. Get ready to change that back. 5.5. 26,000.8. We're doing slightly faster than that to catch up with him. Okay. There we go. And 250 is set. Let's come back out. Change that. Let's go with EW because we're not safe yet. And we have 2 contacts, 3 contacts in front. It's fine. Is he changing? Is he changing his heading? No. Still got it. And we are 25,000, which is good. 0.82, so another couple of 100 feet. And then we're good. Change that. There you go. So change it now. Hang on a minute. Why is it doing that?
Hey, Crusaders, we're going to knock it off a little earlier, so here comes the roll call. Quicksand, roll call. Crusader 4-1.
Crusader 4-2.
Crusaders, checking out of the FMTC, ending our exercise scene. Crusaders, push 9 up. Club Center, hello. Crusader 4-1, flight of 2 Hornets. Flight level 250. Crusaders, fence out.
Okay. Don't need that anymore. So we could. Oh, hang on.
And just be advised, get some traffic 12 o'clock between me and you. Angels 2-4.
Two's visual.
And new speed is going to be 300 for the rejoin.
Okay, 300. Now we're rejoining.
Club Center, we're 40 miles USS ship, we're switching. Crusaders, when able, push 16. Crusader 4-1, fenced out 7.6.
Bingo. Bingo.
Crusader 4-2 fenced out 6.4.
Roger.
Descent.
Fighter Marshal 403 with
Anti-ice,
412.
windshield desired. Default handle. Okay.
Marking bomb 075
That's set. 450.
38. Angels 25, low state 6.5. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Speed back up to 300.
50.
And start the descent. And visual, you got me?
No joy. Blind.
Clock low. So just slow to 280 knot. And say you got me visual. And you can start a descent as well. I'm 7 degrees nose down.
Crusader 42 is visual.
Roger. Go on the rejoin.
Okay, hook. And discard is off. That's good. Lights
And
off.
I'm about 315 in the descent. Yardstick's coming up.
Bingo.
Okay, 7-3 X-ray. Turner to wear off. Sensors. Let's go down.
And the BRC is 128. And you can anticipating recovery right away.
128 BRC. BRC is 128. Copy. There we go.
Need to get a little bit aggressive with this descent, so I'm just gonna roll the throttles back to 74 and nose down 20 degrees.
There he is.
As we level out, I'll just leave the throttles and let the aircraft decelerate naturally.
Miles, yep.
Crusader, stand by for board. Crusader boards now. It's setting 10 degrees nose up. Or 10 degrees nose down, sorry. Boards in. Now. And Crusader 4-1's blind. 5 down.
Crusader 42 is off your right, slightly high, 1 mile.
Altitude. Altitude.
Oh shit. Way too fast.
Okay, pulling the nose up for 2000, just letting the speed come back to 250. Marshall 403, see you at 10. Switch 1 upward. Coming left.
Silly question, I'm sorry, but I can't really figure it out at the moment. What is the reciprocal of 128 right now?
Say it again. What?
Yeah, what's the reciprocal of the BRC? Okay, copy. That's fine. I usually use Siri, but she's not working at the moment.
You can look at your HSI with the course line, it'll give you a nice indicator. And then just move your heading boat to that reciprocal.
Yep. Don't necessarily want to do that all the time, especially at this point, you know.
Oh, yeah, I got you, dude.
But I should have done that earlier, but I didn't.
130 at 18. We got 31.
Okay. Still got his bums on. That's fine though. It's training server, so it's not the actual deployment right now. So we're just training for the Sfwt 2.5 Self Escort strike. I'm not too sure if I managed to hit the target with the two GBU-12s, unfortunately. Don't know how I messed it up, but maybe I did somehow. One's good hook. And let's get the... Should have said that earlier as well, actually, on the rejoin. I should have checked this plane over. Never mind. These little things, eh? Wish ED can fix the shadows. I don't know why they haven't frickin' done it yet, but it's pathetic. Right, hook is down, anti-skid is off anyway. ILS is not boxed. Don't really need that. Lights, master off. Landing weight, max trap. Oops. And red out set. Hard warning 500 370. Not got to touch anything inside the jet right now at this point. Change the heading to 3-1. I think that's the BRC. Let's close it in for a nice parade break.
See ya.
flaps down,
Bingo. Bingo.
gear down, flaps down, hook is down, anti-skid is on, harness locked, dispensers are off. 3-1. Descending. Okay, 1.7. Hopefully we'll be hopefully we'll be inside. Let's look. 1.5, yeah, I'm happy with that.
403, order ball 5.7.
That time.
Bingo. Bingo.
Oh, I've got the eye falls on here. How shit is that?
Bingo.
Stupid reset. Slightly wide. 4-2, Honda ball 5.2.
Roger.
Okay.
Bingo. Bingo.
Hook up. Wings unfold. Right, the wings folding. There we go. Okay. Seat is still armed, of course.
Bingo. Bingo.
Providing I don't crash into the... Let's push forward a little bit more.
Alright, dude, I'm gonna just shut her down slow, and I'll see you in the deeper.
Copy.
Bingo. Bingo.
Oh my gosh. Okay, right, so ejection seat is clear. Landing gear, mechanical full stop is engaged. Okay, let's switch to auto. Trim button repressed. Valve stabbed. Okay, canopy open.
Bingo. Bingo.
And we're going to go wheel chucks, place.
Place the wheel chucks.
Okay, DDI, MPCD are off.
Wheel chocks are now in place.
Leave one open. One on. Com 1 and 2 are off. Interior lights are off. Standby attitude cage reference is
Bingo.
cage locked. Oxygen switches are off. Radar silent mode is down to off. Sensors off. External tanks as desired. Switches norm. Visor is up.
Bingo. Bingo.
Okay. And left engine shut down. Harness off. Okay. HUD is off. All right. I'm going to stream the debrief as well. So bear with me, please. I'm just going to switch that window now. Right to my screen. If I can remember how to do it. Just bear with me. Okay. Okay. Right. Capture display. There we go. And go to Discord. Okay. Well, that was eventful.
It was definitely an event. Um, I'm going to have to edit that mission for the cap points because they're awful for what we want to do. And I remember that from last time too. But yeah, we'll see what the TAC view shows. And we'll start it all together. Oh, no, you didn't. Better have saved. Okay. I think we're good. Yes, we're good. How do I get rid of the bullseye though? See, this is what happens when you reinstall everything. You lose all your settings. Always play bullseye. There it goes. Perfect. And on the fighter. And stream a screen. And products.
Okay.
All right. So just a couple of things. I probably should have talked about it when you brought it up, but you know, you talked about fail criteria. I mean, the goal today was to execute as if we were on deployment and a section engaged, and also to not have it as sterilized as the last couple outings. And you probably noticed some of that today. That's going to lead to basically no shacks. I think both of us didn't hit our targets, and we might talk about why that happened when we get to that part of the tape. But like I said before, we'll just go through the products and the planning, and anything that's missing there we'll bring up when we approach those approach the attack phase. Um, all right, cool. Let's first one. Everything here is standard. We were on a ladder today with the anticipation of recovering right away. Didn't hear a joker or a bingo call, which I don't think was necessary because when you gave me your fuel, it was 6.8 or something. So we were good there. So it seems like you were on ladder the whole time. And that was planned. I didn't talk about it though, so I apologize for that. But that was our joker and bingo for the flight. And you would have just had to acknowledge those as they happened. Um, we departed a little bit early, nothing there. That was part of the brief. And comp plan was standard, with the exception is I didn't check into Guam because we're so close to our training zone. Any questions about this section here or the loadout? Because we did have a double loadout here. That was good.
No, just to confirm that I didn't do the Joker or bingo. I think I was preoccupied with something else, but that would be fixed for next time.
No problem. I didn't talk about them. That's why I'm talking about them now. So
Yeah,
that's it.
it's kind of
So yeah,
standard though, isn't it, really?
yeah, so as a pilot, like we do a bad job at this with FRS, but you know, you're supposed to be watching the ladder. Now, the times we speak up about it is when we're below ladder. So I'm just gonna write below ladder. Um, if you hit below ladder, you need to advise your lead. And if it's an anticipation because we're doing a backside tank, then we'll just go with that usually, because we don't quite operate like blue water ops in the way we execute in the wing, where like a lot of times with the Legacy Hornet, we take off, we're already below ladder. So you can't drive, and generally to get back above ladder, you would drive around and at endurance. They have a different world though. Like we plan for always having a tanker and the tanker working. Um, so that's why we sometimes don't focus much on the ladder. However, if you get the below the ladder and the plan was to be above the ladder for the entire tank, you should probably talk about it with your lead, and they'll either shrug it off or they'll just say, "Hey, we're gonna get some gas on the way back, so just set your joker and bingo." And we generally anticipate for fuel planning. Oh, a little smiley face. I didn't mean to do that, but yeah, for fuel planning, those are the numbers that we really want to focus on because hey, we got to go get gas at 5.0, and that means knocking off any attacks or boarding any attacks, stuff like that. So just a kind of administrative. You were talking about lead stuff last time. From a lead perspective, the book says follow ladder, but from an operations perspective, it's really Joker and Bingo for fueling, either front side or back side. Anything else?
Nope.
So with that in mind, that's standard. That's standard. This is what we did as soon as possible. We're going to see on the tapes if we did this. And then, of course, this was the game plan. This part we didn't hit, and this part we didn't hit. And this we'll talk about it in the tape. Routing. Did you have any issues with the routing or waypoints today in the setup? Or it was all
Um,
pretty standard. You punch everything manually, right?
yeah, I punched everything in, so I had no problems with that really.
Okay.
But we'll talk about some other stuff in a minute.
No problem. And then rock, we did a good alpha check there. It was all good. So nothing to talk about on this page. That was standard. So for this, we'll talk about some of the issues I had, but this was as expected. This was as expected. Any questions about or anything you would change here, planning wise?
No, I think that was all standard, mate.
Cool. This was the game plan. This is pretty much what we flew with some reference headings a little bit off. We're a little shaky getting started, but we'll talk about them in the tape and just talk about some of the ways we can mitigate that. Um, yeah, and everything else here was pretty much as we did, with the exception that we didn't end up attacking anything. And again, we'll talk about that change of plan. Um, the attack call was our cue to, and this will come up later. Attack call is the cue to be air to ground. I did that a little early so that we'd have more than 15 miles, and then anything else that I call out, you'll just execute as it happens. So if there's something big going wrong, because those will come up in our debrief, it's good to talk about it. Otherwise, try to just stay the zip lift and focused on your mission and your formation, and then we'll push into the targets and we'll watch the tape and see what happens there. But that's all I got for that. This was the plan. We'll talk about the problems with it when we get to the tape, because I think there is some issues there that I might do differently in the grand scheme of things, planning wise. All right, go ahead. You see everything on the screen, right?
I see everything on the screen. Yep.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's get rid of some of these tails. All righty. That's not today's flight. Shit.
I was like, where
That's
am I?
today's flight. That's today's flight. Because I installed Windows, it sorted it by oldest, and I'm not used to that. All right, there we go. This looks better. Looks better already. All right, we got 2 Hornets. Just skip ahead here. Basically, all I did is I'm going to do my items at 10 miles. You see a little item check there,
Yep.
and then when I get to Angels 13, you're going to see me do some maneuvering, and we'll see what you did.
So what I would say right now is I did do the items check just then, but I didn't do a G warm. And
Oh yeah, no problem.
the reason why I didn't do a G warm is I think I was so preoccupied with everything else. You know what I mean? Just thinking ahead and what I was doing. So I should have done that really, but that's something for next time. I could have done that because we're doing the CV rendezvous here, right?
Is something going on? This is the second time this has happened, dude. Sorry to skip ahead, but
So
here's
is
your
that
items
me?
check. Yeah, this is your items check, and you're just dumping flares.
Nope, I didn't do that, but I did,
Ow,
obviously.
but you did.
But I did. I did.
um,
You can scroll. You can go back, and you
yeah,
can
you did
see.
one before.
You
Okay,
see, I did
so it
that.
was like a fat.
I didn't touch it. So maybe I did. Maybe I bumped a stick. Switchology bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, there's your items. So that's good. So it looks like you itemed up and then
Accidentally.
punched it again. No
Yeah,
problem, dude.
accidentally. Okay.
No problem. At least you're on profile. Just as a heads up,
Yeah.
like the fence in is a phase, right? But this is when I'm doing my fence in, dude. Like
Yeah.
anytime I don't have to think about anyone else, anything else. like I'm going to execute the fence in here. The verbal stuff is just a formality afterwards. So I like that's the difference between an FRS fence in and an SFARP fence in is like we would do these things together, but on deployment we still want to do all that stuff before we get into the hold because this is hard. Like I mean, you're supposed to do a running rendezvous here, so you're gonna come in on the rejoin. You're gonna do your thing. I get your visual. Unfortunately, I kind of goofed you, I think, because as you were just coming in for the cross under, I said, go fighting wing, and I wasn't sure if you were gonna cross under because to me it took a little long on that rejoin. But
It
so we're
did.
gonna kick it
I
out
didn't
here.
didn't align the geometry correctly on that one, but I did it safely
No
at
problem, dude.
least.
The main thing is if I'm doing it, I'll just lock up my lead. I'm gonna
Mm.
lead them until about 1 mile, and while I'm leading them, I'm actually got a nice overtake speed too. So like it could be as high as 100 knots closure. But as I get under 1 mile, like it counts down, right? It counts down from 6,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 4,000 feet. I'm gonna slow to 60 knots, 50 knots, 30 knots, and then hold that 30 until 1,000 feet because at 1,000 feet my closure in the book it says no more than 25 knots, but it's a little more expeditious, a little sportier, but once you get used to it, like it's very straightforward. You're just going to come off the gas. The jet's going to decelerate pretty good, especially in a draggy situation, and you're just going to monitor and let the jet do the work for you. Jet and geometry. So I'm going to fly lead, 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 and then once I get into that 1 mile, I'm going to fly off the cockpit, kind of referencing the sidewinder and the cockpit, and just drive up that line as quickly as possible. And then at 1,000 feet, little dip down, little dip over, and that looked pretty good. Just a little slow. That's my comment there. So next time you go to execute, think about some of the stuff I just mentioned. Questions?
No.
All right, cool. Same thing with the tanker. I do like the 10% rule. 1 mile, at least 100 knots closure if I got a good rendezvous going on, and then at 1 mile it's just off the gas, 90 knots, 80 knots at point 0.8, 60, 50, 30. Hold the 30 until I'm feeling good. I'm approaching that observation post, and then from 25 to 30 under 1,000 feet, it goes down pretty quick, and it tends to be pretty smooth for your wingman as well. The fence in a little awkward because I know you were heads down, and I talked about why I would have done all the fence and stuff earlier. But remember, you're fighting wing. It's a neighborhood. I did get as a lead. I apologize. My trim wasn't holding, so I banked in here pretty good. I would have just kicked it out to zero point 0.7 miles if I'm fighting wing. As much room as possible. So we're at zero point 0.7 miles. That's going to be above 3,000 feet. I would have hung out there, did all my buttons while I went heads down. And I did roll out here, and I think that was a gotcha on your behalf because you're up and down, up and down. It's causing issues for you. I I just want to stress the fighting wing is again a neighborhood. Give yourself the space you need. There you go. Like this is this kind of space you need. Hang out there until you're done, and just do the occasional glance. Otherwise, we see what's going to happen here. I get into a steep turn. You go to match it. I roll it out a bit. You go back to heads down, and let's see if it causes. There it is. There.
That's it. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, so like I'm kind of rolled out, your head's down in a turn. That's bad news, dude. So like even if you had kicked it out here, as long as you didn't get strung out like 2 miles, I would have been just fine with that. So lessons of the day as a wingman Crusader 4-2, I'm gonna kick it out. Normally, Crusader 4-2 as a flight, when I call for a fence in, we would be doing defensive combat spread because we'd be doing a G warm. Today, none of the stuff was standard. None of it was really what we had done before. So I'll cut you some slack because it was not standard. But in general, you want to have some separation, at least a half a mile, and the fighting wing allows you to do that. And you can, and I'll be honest with you, as a wingman, even if I'm in the turn. If I've got to go heads down, you've got that right to say, hey, I need a few extra seconds. Can we roll out or something? I wouldn't encourage that because I think you could handle being in a bit of a turn with the attitude lock on and doing what you got to do. But at this point, I would have already been fenced in. So those are the points. Hope they're clear.
Yep.
Yeah. So main points: one, fence in as early as you can. So fence in early. do all that stuff. It first happens one on deck. We do everything on deck because we got the time to do it. The fence in is a formality. It's just going to be a scan of the pages. Then the final check is when the fence in calls, I'm going to check the major items. So programs, I want to make sure my programs are set, my weapons are set, and then my lights are off because this is happening all the time. But that's me. Um, do a regular checklist. We have the one that's in the CV. Sorry, we have the one in the VFA 34 folder. Review that list if you have to when that call comes out. Have it pasted and ready to go. Like have that stuff ready to pull out when you need it, and that'll keep you on track
Gotcha.
going forward. Cool. Any comments there? Because I did say a lot of stuff without giving you a chance to answer.
So with the near miss, head was down was more than 3 seconds. Again, I was just going through some stuff, but what you just said there was very valid, and I'll try and fix it on the next one so we can continue forward now. Oh, hello.
Sorry, I muted myself, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I'm good now. Sorry, it happens sometimes when I use that light scribe. I don't see the other screen. So yeah, just to reply to that, we've talked about what you can do as a pilot to mitigate it.
Yep.
Again, none of this was standard, so I apologize. In the future, you can expect a defensive combat spread or better. So what does that mean for you? It means, at least a half a mile when you need to go heads down, and then you do what you think you got to do. And if you need something from the lead, ask for it. Those are the main
Understood.
takeaways. Cool. Going to do some extra stuff here because I was trying to make it a little jubbly because last time that messed you up. It's not to mess you up. It's to just not have a super clean execution because we know different leads make different mistakes. This is a common mistake for a lead to make where you're expecting to be able to be pushing out into a deployed, but now your lead trail from a fighting wing position. So and you're just going to return to that fighting wing. I think here is what I said is okay, I'm going to turn in place, go. We in place, you did everything right, and then I'm going to ask for a deploy almost immediately. As a lead, I'm going to hold my speed while you deploy, and you can see here you do a pretty good job there. Common mistakes from the wingman, and I can't really speak to this because I can't tell your throttles, is don't do afterburner. Just set mill, let the jet come up to speed, and if you want some overtake, that's just fine. You got some overtake here. I think that's just dandy. What happens? Oh, we lost visual. Okay. Um, so the deploy call went out. The reference heading was already 060. So just for your mind, and you can describe how you went through this. If I'm given a directive of
Oh, I know what
060,
happens.
060,
Yeah.
I'm expecting my lead to be on that course. So there should be no reason for me to cut 060 if I've got both the
I'll tell you
distance
why.
and the leads heading. But go ahead and explain what happened there.
So I would. So I was focusing on the tanker, right? So at the moment with TAC view, it looks really close, but if you go to
No,
the realistic
yeah, but
thing,
he
it
was
wasn't.
there. Yeah,
Yes.
he
So
was in our way a few times today. So
he
go
was
ahead.
in our way a few times, but I had tunnel vision, right? So I was like, okay, I've lost you. I see you on the SA page. I've stepped to you. I've got the information needed. I see that guy, and then automatically my brain just switched. I'm like, right, that's not lead anymore. So I need to go after him. This is why I did all that stuff. So that's my bad for that one because as you said, as soon as you give that deploy and you've got that reference heading should have been the thing, and I should have referenced the distance between myself and yourself, and then realized actually I don't need to close in. You are over there somewhere. I am going the right direction. So that was completely on me, and it was a silly mistake, but it is what it is.
But this is, this is, I'll cut you some slack, dude, because I saw him there. I talked about him on the way back because I almost created the same scenario again. I called for the fence out on the way back, and we'll see that. And I saw the traffic, and I didn't want you to get confused. So this time I saw the traffic. I didn't anticipate that happening, but it did, and that's on me as well. Because as a lead, like I'm giving you a lot of stuff, and we've talked about this before. It's easy to get overwhelmed, um, and if I can anticipate something, then I will. Uh, you make mistaking that tank, sir. I think that's valid, dude. What happens here is just a miscommunication on top of a misidentification. So we get sorted though really quick. There's not a lot of back and forth. That's really what I want to avoid is those moments when you're talking needlessly about something that can just be fixed quickly. So
Yep.
that's why I'm going to give you a heading as 090 and you're going to come back across because I think I even mistake the tanker for you at one point. And because I'm looking here and you're way closer than I imagined. I was looking at the tape. I'm like, oh, he's down to 1 mile, but I look out and I see you way out there. So I was making the same error. I think I mistake the tanker.
I think, I had that graphical issue and I had to reset all the settings. I still haven't put the viewing docs back to the way it was, I think. It's on
Okay.
default right now, so I think I have a little trouble still, because I haven't done it, and that's going to go on the list of things to do. I haven't put the increase the viewing dots to make it easier. So
Did you
I
have
think
did you have HMD today as well? I imagine not, eh?
no, I don't use that. I haven't used it for months and months and months.
Okay.
And the only reason why is the deployment isn't really sort of necessary for that. It's a different time period.
Yeah, no
So
problem. No problem.
it's actually good to not use it and not rely on it. So for me, that's a no go at the moment. So I'm just kind of getting used to the basics again. Well, not basics, but the advanced stuff that I can do with inside the
Yeah,
gen.
just exercising you per deployment. That's fine, dude.
Yes,
I
yeah,
think that's. I need to find my license too. All right, cool. Yeah, so we get sorted. Either way, with that in mind, that's a good take back. I'm going to try to monitor those situations a little better as well. It happens on the way back, but not on this one. So we get sorted though into our spread driving in. Um, there's going to be some issues with these jets that we spawn because they never turn towards us and they're not capping on the good side. They're capping opposite. If I was an enemy, I would have a cap lane towards the enemy. Instead, they're capping on the other side where their friendlies are, which doesn't make any sense at all. Um, so I'm hoping I spawned another group too to see if they were in a better position. You see them appear there for a moment, but
yep,
they're even further away. So the only thing we planned for an SAR one, I didn't want to spawn the 37s, 27s, excuse me, because we didn't plan for it. So I'm going to leave these guys out there. They're going to do a thing. From a tactical perspective, the idea was if they were 40 miles, we would commit to them. They were 25 miles and driving away. So it was opening up our picture. So now we can skip the air to air portion of that or of our plan. Now I'm going to shift, and I probably used too many words. I'm going to shift to the attack phase, and I think I used too many words, and that's going to cause some problems here as we drive in. The original heading 065 on our way in, and we're going to have a turn there that's going to take us off. So we got 065, we're happening, we're driving. And I mentioned this earlier in our debrief, but if the lead tells you to drive, just drive. Unfortunately, I think the geometry here, I'm seeing it now, keeping you in the position you were in, the drive is going to mess up our attack a little bit, and we'll see how it plays out. Should be a reference turn because when we're 15 miles, we were actually 40 seconds to drop. Um, so several things happen here. If the game plan was 60 seconds go pure, the reason why I can't call that is because of situations like this. And I did a really poor job briefing this in our flights before. When I said I'll say something, it's because 60 seconds may not be what you see, because in this example, you're a little ahead of me and you're a little offline. Sorry, you're not online with the target, but when we go pure, you might have had the targeting pod together, but at some point in your HUD, it was probably looking at like 40 to 30 seconds to drop. And this I cannot anticipate for you all the time. So in those instances, you can just say what you see. You can just say Crusader 4-2 is going pure 40 seconds. And that's going to let me know that you're under whatever we talked about and that you need to turn direct to target. That's not what happened today. I said, 60 seconds. It was more like 45. I'm going to use the Humvee as our, there's our turn in. I'm about 40 seconds to drop. You should be already turning pure at this point. You asked me a question before, which was,
I did.
are we going to turn? I think that kind of jumbled our timeline a little bit too. So we'll try to avoid that kind of question. And then finally, the one that's the only real negative criticism I have today was you were talking about multiples when I was 5 seconds to drop. So that kind of stuff is what we want to avoid on mission and in training.
Makes sense.
Today is a training mission. You should have had that on the boat. I should have had that question, 20 minutes ago. So that was the only thing that threw me in terms of attack. Um, what sucks is that it's a non-standard attack, and I should have just avoided it by doing a single drop. So on planning side, administratively, next time I would do this with a single GBU, balancing the fuel tank to keep it simple. I wanted to give you the multiple thing to see if you knew the system. You did not. And for that, I'm going to pay for it, and we're going to pay for it as a flight. Go ahead with your comments, because I said
Okay.
a lot of stuff there, dude. So
No,
first
no,
things
it's okay.
first, the turn. We'll roll it back just before the turn. We'll talk about that. Go ahead with your comments here, because I said, hey, go. The idea was we're going to flow unless you're given a directive, and you asked the question. I think the
Yeah.
question's good. Respond
So
to that.
I don't think. Not sure how to say this. I didn't hear the calls that I heard last time. Right.
Right.
Um.
Little different layout. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just a little bit of a different layout, which I think confused me a little bit there. Um. So the thing that I could have done better on that one at this point was altitude deconfliction as well. Okay, and you'll see that once we draft, we almost, well, not don't almost, but we cross paths. So I could have been
Okay.
a little higher, for instance, and yeah, so I didn't do that again. I thought I was going to do it, but I was preoccupied with everything else. So I
Okay.
did I did ask the question at the wrong time. It's not a case of me not knowing the system. It's a case of I just wanted clarity, and I asked that question at the wrong time, as you said. So I think I forgot to set that up, and then I panicked just a smidge. But realizing that I've actually got okay, I'm okay to drop the weapon. I've got a bit of time to sort of sort that out. So again, bit of planning on my side when I did the weapon setup and everything, make sure it's program one, etc., and all that good stuff, which is default anyway. But
Yeah. Exactly.
I just didn't do the multiple dropping thing, and that's what I panicked on. So again, asked the question at the wrong time there. So my fault. So altitude deconfliction, I could have done better on. I could have set the weapons up way earlier. Like just that one little thing was wrong. And then it was I didn't hear the normal calls like deploy, not deploy, sorry. What was the calls again?
You're going to hear at the IP, generally, you're going to hear attack, and that's going to be your cue to
Yes.
go into air to ground mode.
Yep.
I called it on Pry. I said attack, attack twice very loudly, because even me, I was a little jumbled because of the turn call, or that happened after the turn call. But I say attack twice. It happens on or it happens on Pry, and then just to kind of massage the wing because we don't have a great air to ground program yet. I do the set and capture thing just to kind of make sure we're on timeline, um, or we're in their attack phase, because that lets me know that you are looking. You're in the pod, and that you should have master armed. Uh, check tapes master arm as well, because I say attack and then it's check tapes master arm. All of these things are cues to be in air to ground and looking for your target.
Yep.
Um, and now formation is less of a formality. Like it's, hey, we're 5 mile spread. Not too much is going to interfere with it. We're not really going to interfere with each other in this kind of formation.
Mm.
Of course, like you said, block is going to matter, and we'll take a look at that here in a moment. But this is kind of what we're following. I'm doing some rough lines here because this is not quite 090. It's a little off because of the box here. But this is what we're anticipating as an angle. You have this information available to you. So what I would recommend is when you're looking at the attack plan with the lead, you can bring up how you expect to do turns. So for the lead, because of my position, this line here, I need to be closer to it than you. And for you, I think the lines on the screen, if you're looking at the screens, it looks like you're like way ahead of me, like over here when you're looking at your HSI, I mean. So try not to go off of what positions you see too much, but anticipate the check turn. Just fly your jet until then. Make sure your target's good. This IPDP thing is something you'll see on deployment. We generally add them together though, because it just keeps things simple. Um, I think that's an error on our behalf as a term of planning anyway. So just to summarize all that nonsense, we're coming in, we're driving. The question about turn, I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I told you to ask questions, so I'm not going to ding you for it. We'll look at the formation in a moment. However, the 60 seconds to drop is in your jet. So if you're under your release, I can't. I'm losing my terms today. I apologize. But if
It's
you
okay,
look
mate.
in your HUD and your auto queue says 40 seconds, you need to turn pure. That's on you. I didn't explain that very well before, so that's why it's not a call in the lead, because these kind of setups, um, we kind of anticipate them to be. We're not going to be exactly on the same timeline with this kind of spread. What you will see is like in CAS, when you have simultaneous drops, you'll have the wing in a defensive spread. Those kind of drops will be more dynamic, and our 60 seconds will be more melded together opposed to being separated. So that's the takeaway there for me. And a lesson for you is just, on these big formations, I think I can do better planning, but this is why some of the things you saw didn't feel like the last time, because we were closer last time. We also had one line to drive in on, which isn't always going to be the case. So we executed on a little different approach. Moving on, we're going to press the tapes going forward. So here comes the heading change. And because it's a turn towards you, you see you end up a little bit ahead. That kind of stuff, not a big deal because we're not doing a simultaneous launch. And you should be in the pod and occasionally with lookout doctrine.
Yep.
Sensor spread, you can't really see me like you already talked about. So that's kind of the good things to it. The bad things to it is, yeah, watching your wingman is impossible. So the only thing you can do, we use our sensor, which is the SA page and yardstick. At this point, again, Crusader 4.2 should have been pure. Crusader 4.1 is driving in on the flight line. Crusader 4.2 is gonna turn really, really late. The double tap question happens right around this time too. I'm gonna drop 2 bombs. Unfortunately, I had a programming issue. I was getting laser code error, and I couldn't figure out why. I realized it after I got on deck. I had set the right code in the bombs, but not in the FLIR.
I may have had the same
Uh,
problem actually. I'm not too sure because I did. Did I even
yeah,
drop? Did I even drop?
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. You're way out of position, or like as 4-2, like Crusader 4-2 is out here, and I think that might be my problem on an attack plan, because you should have been driving towards the waypoint, but you're
Yeah.
spread out so far that it's not how do I want to say this? If you were looking through your pod and you saw your fall line, it would have shown like it that you're, what is it? We can actually see that angle. 250, and you're on a, okay, that's your heading. It's heading to you. So let me fix that and bring up raw telemetry. No, not raw. I want just telemetry. Okay, our track is about 090, no problem. And then, yeah, so it's 20 degrees off. So in your HUD, and I'm doing this for educational purposes. We can skip this if you want. Um, in your HUD, the kind of cues that tell me where I'm at is, let's get a box going here. Get some lines. We're gonna have a fall line. Oh shit, that doesn't do what I thought it did. Okay, click this again. It's not working. We're gonna have the fall line indicated We're going to have the little pointer as well with the angle off,
Yes.
and then we're going to have some numbers here. And let's just write 40 because that's what I saw today, and that's what kind of the mistake. So that's going to tell me that hey, my target's off over to the left, and I've got less than a minute. I need to adjust. Instead, Crusader 42 is going to drive straight, and that was the error that's going to lead to what we see next. You're going to turn pure when you're next to the target, which is really what was weird about all this overall. You get 2 bombs off, but it's way too late. You're over the target. Yeah, 4-2 is over the target by the time this drop happens. You're going to support. Bombs aren't even going to see what you're looking at. This becomes an issue as well because I'm watching you on the SA page. You're approaching threat range, which I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to prompt you with a status. 4-1 prompts you for status. You're like flowing EFP. So we see that happen. I'm going to get rid of my bombs. I'm going to bust her out of there because I don't know if these guys are doing. Next thing is Crusader 4-2 is going to prompt for a spike call in case it happens. But guess what? These guys aren't cooperative today. We don't even have to worry about them. So this portion, this is all tactical defeat up until, oops, excuse me. Let me get rid of, I'm trying to get rid of this box. No. Whatever. Fix it later. This you're operating on standard, but nothing about it was tactically
Shit, look
as
at
we
that.
had planned.
Mm.
I would say some of the causes of that is maybe the sensor spread is an issue here, and then just inexperience in the HUD. Going forward, though, you do turn towards the target and attempt to strike. Um, I'll let you comment on that there. Or
I
otherwise,
got
I'll
no
just
comment, dude. I fucked up, and I have no idea why.
it's I mean it's fine. Like I think the attack, like in your head, you executed what you thought was supposed to happen. It's just this point here. I don't know how I would solve this
I
going
think
forward.
this
I
is
think
the
the
initial
spread.
thing that caused me to screw up. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Like, well, I do know why because we spoke about a lot of things.
yeah,
Personally, I think it would have been better if we went trail or if I was on your left hand side. But I had to come into you to get that angle. So what was
yeah.
going on in my head, I'm not really sure.
Okay,
And I
you're
kind of
good.
thought that I've done this quite a few times in single player, just practicing, just going over the switchology, things like that, really making sure that I got everything correct and following all that stuff. So I'm not really sure why I screwed up at this point, considering I was confident, in terms of how to
Yeah,
do that.
I,
So
I wouldn't call
weird.
it a screw up. It's what it is the anticipation is the anticipation is we planned for something tactically and
Yeah.
they were outside of those parameters, okay? So it's not so much a screw up as there's certain tools we can use in the jet that can help us get back on parameters. The first tool is going to be our release queue. So both the line, the fall line and the time for you going forward, if the plan is to go pure 60 seconds, if you
Mm,
are 60 seconds, if you're above 60 seconds, you're just going to drive your straight line. If you're below 60 seconds, you need to execute on your own. And I would just give a courtesy call to my lead because, like what happened maybe with AJ as well, sometimes these accelerated timelines tactically don't play out exactly as we briefed. But the cues are this is 60 seconds and captured, you had time to correct. Under 60 seconds, you need to correct immediately. And of course, over 60 seconds, you're just going to do what you're supposed to. So those are the only
okay.
things you can do as a pilot going forward. And I would say, hey, in your head, if the game plan is to go pure at 60 seconds, well, we talked about what we need to do. We need to go pure. If you're completely off parameters at this point, um, what you can start doing to com- compartmentalize. Wow, I'm really having a hard day speaking English. These things is what's going on with me. We go back to what am I doing? You know how to drop the bomb. You had the system set. The only thing we can do is look at our HUD, cross-check what we're doing, and that's really all you could have, like, as Crusader 4.2, that's all you could have done today to fix your angle. Today, you're going to drive in, the cues are missed, which is going to cause a decision to turn towards the target well after our attack plan. And it's because these numbers are just not registering. The numbers is 60 seconds, the distance to your target, they're not in your head. And
Yeah.
that requires a strong cross check. Mentally, that happens differently for everyone. In the military, they teach you these things, they drive home habits. This has been outside of the habits. So now what was missing was, because we've never experienced this kind of scenario, we don't have a cross check. We're just on rails. We're playing Microsoft Flight Simulator out here. It's like I'm just on rails, and anything outside of parameters I'm not noticing because I was expecting to be on rails. Now we're off the rails, and that's part of the exercise today, but it wasn't meant to cause these types of big errors. So just a review, if you're in the attack phase and you're under drop time, and your drop time is briefed as 60 seconds, make those corrections. I wouldn't even talk about them. I would just do a quick deconflict with one. I'm going to deconflict primarily with altitude, conflicts, and then I'm going to attack. And if not, if anything is off with these two things, if anything, I don't want to force it, right? What's the final thing I can do is I can abort. And to me, an abort is not a fail either. It's, hey, something went wrong. We'll talk about it in the debrief. In DCS, this never happens because people don't want to. I've seen guys do tack turns here, roll out here, descend 500,000 feet, and then turn back on the target and then go and pick off two bombs, right? And yeah, they got the bombs off. They might hit the target, but they might have broken all the spins or ROAs doing it. That's gaming DCS. We try to avoid that in the wing, of course. So just a review: compartmentalize, deconflict, attack, or abort. And that's it. I think I've talked enough there.
Yeah, that's
Over
okay,
to
mate. It's
Sfwt.
good. It's good to be thorough, though.
So two failed attacks. Crusader 4.1 doesn't guide. Crusader 4.2 just launches late and off parameters. For the return, looked pretty good. I'm gonna slow it down, and you're just gonna kick it out. And then we're just gonna drive fat, dumb, and happy. Here comes the fence out. I had a battery low indicator in my HUD because I forgot to plug in my headset after I swapped wires. So I'm panicking just as I call fence in, and that's why I kind of executed quickly. Fence in, you're going to go back to cruise. Of course, you're still doing some switches here. We're kind of compressed on the boat too, so thanks for just hanging on here. You're going to see me really accelerate, and that's going to string you out. I apologize for that. Uh, there's no way you can anticipate these things, so
I
gonna bring it
noticed.
back in though.
Go
Go
on.
ahead, sorry.
I
No,
noticed
you're
that
good.
when you gave the call to jettison the two bombs that we had on the other wing, that you still had yours on at this point.
That it's a visual bug. It's a visual bug.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Because like you see me drop them back off the EFP, and when I look at you, I see your bombs too. But I called for it. I knew you did it.
How lame is
Uh,
that then? Okay, I thought ED would
yeah,
fix that.
it's been a while like that. So anytime you jettison, it doesn't show. If you drop, it's fine, and that's only with unlimited ammo. So it's an unlimited ammo kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but good call out. I mean, it's fair. Like you saw bombs and you're bringing it up in the debrief. I would talk about that too. But yeah, it's a visual bug.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we're gonna just do a standard case one, and I kind of messed my approach, but let's look at me and then we'll look at you. You had a pretty good one, a little overshoot, but looked like really good corrections. Me, I'm wrapped up pretty tight until about here. I'm just a little lined up right. And there we go. And my head's moving everywhere. Apologies. Can I
It's all
change
right,
that
mate.
actually? Cockpit view. I can change that. Sorry. There we go. Now it's better. And a two-wire grab. And yeah. I'll give me an okay for that because I'm the LSO and the instructor, and I can do that. A little over. I'm trying to make it light, dude. I just picked on you pretty hard. So, All right,
Mate,
we're gonna
honestly, I'm
wrap it
happy.
up.
I'm happy that you do that stuff. Trust me, I told you it's a good way to learn. So good stuff.
Cool. Cool. This is nice. This is looking pretty nice though. Just a little overshoot. Nice corrections. You were right down the line. Just a tad low. And I think you do the same thing I did, which is spot the deck, and not fly the ball, because you were really good until about here, and then the throttles don't go up, and you catch the two wire. But same thing. Give you an okay. Uh, it was a really good pass in my opinion. Much better than me. All right, cool. We talked about a lot of stuff, went over a lot of things. I'd like to do this again, Brad, with everything we talked about.
Oh, for sure,
Um,
mate, for sure.
I think part of the problem is our execution in a wing. Um, Building these skills of how do we solve problems when things aren't on the rails, as I keep saying. Today you've got some more insight on that. Um, Overall, I thought a lot of the flight is Crusader 4-2. You executed really well. It was just the final attack phase where two things happened as a tactical decision. Is one, we didn't have an air-to-air portion, which doesn't help the rails part, and two, the attack phase was not what you've been practicing, so it was compressed, and those errors that we saw today were kind of a pretty big factor in that. I'm not going to go into any more details because we've talked about it at length. I'm going to leave the floor to you. Just give me your thoughts, feelings. You mentioned changing some things, so if you want to talk about that in detail now, go ahead.
Um,
Or probably overwhelmed you.
no, I just don't know what to say right now.
Yeah. If you got nothing to say, that works too.
Yeah, that's okay. So I've recorded this. I've streamed it. No, I should have told you that, but I did stream it, and it's not necessarily for everybody else to watch. It's for me to watch
Okay.
and sort of listen to again. That's always been the case. If people are interested, great, but that's not the primary focus of me doing this. Um,
Okay.
so I'm going to listen to everything you just said again. If there's anything that I need to talk about, I'll message you about it, of course. So I would like to do this as well again, just to sort of clarify that. And I think next time, I think I would like to go over more of the attack sort of scenario, the calls that I should make, etc. Not saying that you haven't done that in a good way, but I just want to make sure that I'm, as you say, clear as mud. Making sure that we're absolutely spot on. So we can do that next time. But it was a good flight. I've definitely learned a lot. I've definitely learned, what not to do and what to do. And I appreciate your time for taking me through this again, mate.
No problem. I'm going to review it as well because I didn't have very clear answers for you. And finally, just from a planning perspective, I think the sensor spread might have been a tactical mistake here. So in the future, I'm not going to use this for an attack unless it's like absolutely necessary, like something's really non-standard. Um, I saw more success with the defensive and offensive spread than the sensor spread, just because it creates issues. So going forward, that's what I'm going to fix.
Okay.
Um, all right, cool.
Always good flying with you,
Well,
mate.
yeah, you as well, Brad. And yeah, that's it, dude. If you've got nothing else, I've got nothing else.
No, I've got nothing else, mate. I'll let you go and you can enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
All right, cheers. Have a good one.
Talk to you soon, man. Thanks. Bye bye.
Ciao.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'm just gonna